Hello, and welcome back to Being Meraklis, a podcast by Shweta Shibraman. For those of you tuning in for the very first time, Being Meraklis is a podcast to inspire and live life to its fullest through my journey of self-discovery. Meraklis is the derivative of the Greek word meraki, which means to do an act with complete willingness, undivided attention, and wholehearted devotion. This podcast is a reminder of how we're not alone in this journey and on the simple things we can do to make this life a memorable and a beautiful experience. Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode on Being Meraklis. I hope 2021 has started off on the right note for all of you here. For those of you who've been around for a while, you know at Being Meraklis, we stand for empowering people to live lives to the fullest. And today, we are going to decode what does living life to the fullest mean? What holds us back from living that life for ourselves and how we can go about leading such a wonderful life? Recently, I was asked this question, what do you mean when you say living life to the fullest? I was a bit taken aback because I thought there was but one meaning to it. But the more I contemplated, the more I realized maybe not. It does have a lot more nuances to it, and I thought in this episode I'll walk you through what my interpretation is when I say living life to the fullest. While this may vary from one person to other, I feel it's broadly these 7 aspects. 1. Living in your truth and your authenticity of what matters most to you. The most important words in that sentence is not truth or authenticity, but your and you. The fundamental aspect of living life to the fullest is to do right by you. Not for a faceless collective society, parents, relatives. Each of us are unique. So understanding ourselves and living in alignment is what makes the difference. 2. Living a life of no regrets. Obvious but a goodie. Living life to the fullest means you lived as best as you could given your knowledge and capacity at that given point in time. No playing small or regretting missing chances then. 3. Giving your all to every task you undertake. This is important. Involving yourself 100% every waking moment. We do too many things half-heartedly and then don't feel good about it. So giving everything you've got in everything you do, whether it be waking up in the morning and brushing your teeth or giving that presentation at work in front of your entire team. Living your life to the fullest means doing everything with all your heart. 4. Conscious of your actions and consequences. A lot of us lead lives compulsively without thought or intention. But when you become conscious of your actions and be mindful of how you act, think and respond in every moment, life can be a wonderful experience. 5. Keeping your word. Far too often we utter words we never mean or intend to keep. I personally believe our words and actions are the only legacy we leave behind. To live life to the fullest, you must honor your own word. If you utter words, stand by it and live up to them. Otherwise, the guilt of breaking the words play in your own subconscious mind and you cannot live life to the fullest that way. 6. Cultivating relationships that matter. Love is one of the strongest emotions humans are capable of. If we can generate selfless love towards fellow beings, compassion, even if it's just for a few seconds, it will be worth it. 7. Working on things that serve beyond just our individualistic needs. Life is never just about us. No amount of wealth, no amount of work on oneself works if we don't give back what we can. That's the fundamental law of nature. We are interdependent and the more we serve, the more we grow. Is there anything that comes up to you when you think of living life to the fullest? Let me know, I'm curious. But let's move on. While it's all beautiful to hear, how many of us can actually bring in that awareness moment to moment and lead lives like that? Hardly few, right? If we manage to catch that awareness, it is fleeting still at best. There are several reasons why we don't live life to the fullest. 1. we have no clarity on what we really want. If someone said everything you desire can come true, but you only have one chance to ask for it, can we actually tell the genie what we want? No, we'll drive ourselves insane trying to decide what that one thing should be. Because we've hardly ever spent any time really sitting with ourselves to know what we truly want. We wake up one day and say money is important. We chase that and then we realize, you know what? Influence is also important. We do that for a few weeks and then we say, it's not influence, family is the most important. Then we chase family. And this goes on all our lives. If we don't really know what we want, how can we live life that actually delivers what we want? 2. No presence. 2. No presence. We lead lives compulsively from one action to another, from one distraction to another. We're so constantly busy that we have no presence to know what should we really engage in and how we should go about engaging in that. 3. Constant comparison. This is a tough one to break, but being social animals, we constantly seek answers in the external world and people around us. We see others, imitate their actions, and believe that will solve all our life's problems. But it rarely does. It only adds to the complications. We need to understand each one of us is unique and is a curious blend of specific inherent tendencies that are molded by our life experiences. So we cannot be grouped into living life similarly. What works for someone else cannot and will not work for you. 4. Not believing in ourselves enough. I did an entire episode on New Year's for this, but the fundamental lack of belief in ourselves holds us back from taking the chances we should, from living lives in our own truth. This is where our conformist tendencies take over. We start towing the line, living life to society's standards, and then build up a lifetime of regret. 5. Fear. We'd rather not make a choice and live with whatever life serves us because of this one factor, fear. What if I actively make decisions in my life and it's not what I anticipated? Better a known devil than an unknown, right? So we stick around long after expiry dates with jobs, relationships, and life as a whole. But it rarely does stick around, does it? So how can one actually live life intentionally, with full involvement, the zeal and ardor we talk about in Being Meraklis? Well, for starters, spend time exploring and understanding yourself. Who are you? What drives you? What are your key values? What matters most to you? And then start to become more mindful in your everyday life. Observe yourself for a few weeks. What gives me joy? What drains me? What gets me excited? What bores me? What triggers me? All of this will give you insights on what your inner nature is and what you should be spending your time on. You can then build systems and routines that stabilize your life. We cannot do big things if we spend a lot of time and energy getting basic things done in our lives. Think about it. Deciding every night what time you should wake up the next day. Deciding every day when you should go for a workout. Basic things, but we spend a lot of our energies in figuring out the logistics of our life than actually living it. Routines are not boring. They save your energy so that it can be channelized to do better things. And lastly, stop beating yourself about the past or letting your imagination go wild about what the future unfolds. Bring yourself to the present. Realize the infinite possibilities that being present holds and live that life freely. I hope these tips help and help you understand what we say every single time we say living life to the fullest. At the end of the day, it is what makes most sense for you and what gives you the most meaning, fulfillment, and happiness. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Shweta Shibraman signing off, hoping you have a fabulous week ahead.